as a person who's experienced emotional neglect, rejection, and abandonment, I feel like if it weren't for my relationship with God, I would have really negative, really low self-esteem still. And I say that as someone who's spent years studying psychoeducation, doing different healing modalities. I delved into New Age. I've delved into the CBT, the EMDR, the talk therapy. I've done quite a few things that did help incrementally, but they never really changed my self-concept. They never really got to the root of the grief of feeling extremely unloved and therefore extremely unlovable. And I had this sense of just unredeemable unworthiness, this sense of feeling like I just didn't belong in the world. And at times it made me passively suicidal, and in times where I made really big mistakes, it made me actively suicidal because I felt like I didn't deserve to be loved. I didn't deserve to be forgiven. I didn't deserve to be embraced by anyone at times when I felt like I wasn't performing or I wasn't doing well. And it really breaks my heart for people who, have really complicated relationships with religion and faith. Mine was too, but to a lesser degree because I was raised in the Christian faith. And when I had those crises of faith and, I was trying to be spiritually, I guess, open-minded, I still had this sense that God loved me because, I always knew that I was his from, Sunday school days. Not to go entirely on a tangent, but for people who don't know God, who don't have even a slight frame of reference of the love that he has for his children, I think it's really hard to find a new source of attachment, a new source of unconditional love, to perceive that there is a creator beyond, because the only thing stronger than your parents' influence on us, like when they reject, abuse, or otherwise harm us, we can't conceive of anyone else in the world loving us better than the people who brought us into the world. And so if we don't have a bigger source, a more permanent source, a more permanent foundation for our self-love, for our self-concept, we just think that the world is continually unloving and that rejection or harm is just around the corner. And so we don't learn to trust other people. And the only thing that has superseded that initial attachment wound of parental neglect, rejection, abandonment, whatever the case, the only thing that has superseded that was the love that I found in God. And as my faith deepens and as I realize just how real, how personal, how intentional, how active God's hand is in my life and in creation. I mean, like, if you are paying attention, you see that he pays so much attention to detail, even in the creation of us as human beings. And, when people have made you feel worthless, we tend to carry that as an identity. But when we get to know God and how much he loves us, we get to root our identity in something else outside of that rejection. And I wish I could communicate this in a way that just directly resonate and directly gets to the wound that so many of us are carrying, the grief that so many of us are carrying from the loss of love or from the absence of love, to begin with. So, I don't know. I feel like it's more than just me. And so I just wanted to share this with you as I'm on my walk right now, to let you know that if no one else has made you feel loved, if no one else has reflected your value, your inherent value to you, and you've been walking around the world just feeling rejected and abandoned and alone, I want you to know that you are not alone, that God loves you. Even if you don't have a frame of reference, or your frame of reference is different than mine, you are loved by an infinite and intentional and unconditionally loving creator. And he sees you. He sees you in your wounds, and he will never leave you nor forsake you. Okay? And regardless of how difficult things have been, it doesn't change that fact. Anyways, I'm rooting for you. And if you don't know where to start to try to have intentional encounters with God, I would start with that prayer that's like, God, if you're there, if somebody can hear me, God, if you're listening, God, if you've seen me, if you're seeing me right now, please heal me, please show me, please, whatever the case. Or maybe you don't call God by the same name I call God, but whatever your frame of reference, just start to seek out moments of silence and solitude where you can encounter God in stillness, and he will meet you there. He will meet you there. I really hope this makes sense, and I really hope it helps. Just know that I'm rooting for you, that I'm sending you so much love, and that it will get better, even if it doesn't seem like it for the time being, that it really does get better. Okay? I'll chat to you soon. Love you, friend.